The Backrooms movie. The Backrooms movie was Backrooms movie was the best movie I've ever seen, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not saying it's objectively the best movie, alright, because I'm not a cinephile. I don't even really watch movies like that. I used to only watch superhero movies. Prior to this, my favorite film I've ever seen was Donnie Darko. But I literally just saw the Backrooms not even an hour ago. It's 11 o'clock at night. Whole house is probably asleep, but it was so fucking peak, bro. And by now, a lot of people have clicked off the video because they think I'm rage baiting, especially since this is the second time I've said something is the best something I've ever played or watched. I just made a video of how Resident Evil Requiem is my favorite survival horror game, the GOAT of survival horror. And it's only been a day, so I'm not gonna say that it do too well. It could definitely blow up within the next few days. Probably not going to. This video is probably gonna get some traction because the movie's new, but I'm not just riding the trend. I genuinely love this movie. I just watched it. There's still a whole lot more thinking I can do, but I genuinely fucking love this movie, man. And I want to talk about it right now. Fresh out the theater. I haven't really seen any internet. I saw a little bit before. People said the third act was undeserved, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I watched the movie. I didn't even notice the third act. The movie, start to finish, was just fucking peak. I didn't even notice. The acts are divided. I noticed, yeah, this is where we start. We get into the back rooms. But it was just, split up into that, the setup, and then the rest of the story. It was just, I'm not saying it went too fast or anything. It was just, you didn't notice it. You were just locked in for the rest of the movie after they set up the intro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not gonna explain the movie. If you don't get it, look up an explain video. But if you don't like it and you don't understand it, that's why you don't like it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, bro. You can't just criticize a piece of media saying it's bad just because you don't understand it. Right? Actually try to understand it, and if you can't, it's probably just not for you. Right? You're just not at that level of thinking yet, buddy. I'm sorry. But I love themes and philosophy and stories. I can really break it down. And there's so much to get into, bro. I could talk about this movie for an hour. But again, I'm not gonna explain it. I'm just gonna tell you what I think about it. So this is your spoiler warning. Yeah, I don't know what you thought, bro. I don't know what you thought. This is gonna be a spoiler-free review. I hate those, bro. Just watch the thing, play the game, watch the thing, whatever it is, read it, form your own opinion, then watch reviews on it. Or just save this to your watch later, watch the movie, and come back. It's not that hard. But, I just want to talk about the philosophy of the movie real quick, because there's only one real part where they talk about it, and it's in the dining scene with him and Mary, I'm pretty sure her name is. Yeah. So Clark and Mary are in this dining room. And yeah, there's this there, but I want to talk about the actual I'm not saying the part where they're just in therapy in the normal world isn't interesting, because yeah, it's definitely good character work. But this is something unique to the Backrooms. So they're in the dining room and they're kind of reenacting the scene from earlier in the movie where they're role playing as his wife Barbara, and the therapist is role playing as the wife Barbara, and he is role playing as himself in the past. And they're kind of doing it, but it's much more tense because Mary, the therapist, is tied up, and there's these creepy fucking monster humans all around them. The wheelchair guy, The image of him, bro, that image of him was burned into my brain. He was creepy as fuck. The lady wasn't that creepy, but he was just in the background behind him. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And we find in the movie, he's like, so fucking. The movie was so fucking scary. I'll get into that, but so eventually, Mary's fucking fed up with it. Like, she reveals what she truly thinks about Clark and why his wife kicked him out the house, because she's tied up. She's like, yo, this guy's fucking crazy, right? Because of what goes on in the scene. He's like, this guy's fucking crazy. He's probably gonna, like, kill me anyway. I might as well, like, tell him what I think. And basically what she says is that Clark tries to deny that everything, like, Clark tries to blame everything in his life on other properties, or blame every problem in his life on something else other than himself, when he really is the problem. Like, he kind of is a bad person, right, for thinking these thoughts and thinking these selfish thoughts, and all the problems in his life are kind of caused by him, and he's trying to blame him on other things other than himself. And you think that make him, like, crash out or something, but no, he sits there and he's like, oh, I realize that now. I realize the error of my ways. But the thing is, I'm okay with being the way I am, right? I accept who I am, and I don't want to change. And I found this, like, if anybody found the Backrooms, it would change their life, right? But some would just try to leave and forget about it. Leave it behind, or just, like, report it or something. But Clark doesn't want to do any of that. Clark is just like, maybe this is where I belong, right? In this terrifying fucking place that's all fucked up, right? But he knows what kind of man he is. He doesn't want to take responsibility, and if he's just sitting here in the Backrooms, right, with these, like, fucked up, misremembered characters, he can just, like, be there, and he doesn't have to take responsibility. He doesn't have to take the blame for any problems. He can just kind of be who he is in this place where there's no one to judge him. And I thought that was beautiful. Like, dude, I genuinely, like, tears started welling up in my eyes during that scene. Especially because what I'll talk to later, like, why watching this movie really made me, fucking scared, bro. And yeah, I like that. I really like that part. Sorry, man, for some reason, my last video was still in my camera roll, ran out of storage, and it ended my video. I remember where we left off, and now the framing is all fucked up. I don't really care. We're gonna roll with it. Alright. I don't really know what I was talking about earlier, because that part of the movie correlates with the earlier therapy scene. It's all the same philosophy. I was kind of getting sidetracked. If I turn the light off, could I turn it? Oh, no, I couldn't. I don't know. Well, now the light's quiet. I think it might be better. Oh, I'll just go with this. Yeah. So great theme in the movie. Great message to take away. Like, don't have to trying to constantly change. It's good to change sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta accept who you are. Not give a fuck about all that. But I'm gonna talk about the horror of the movie, because this is a horror movie. You know what? Honestly, the movie probably could have been PG-13. Like that one scene where his, what do I call it? Because it's him from the commercial, misremembered into the Backrooms, into this tall fucking monster thingy. I don't really know what to call it, but whenever that thing, we'll just call it the monster eats him. It's kind of gory, and he's like dragging his dead body along, dragging Clark's dead body along. It's kind of gory, but like that is like the scene that made it rated R. And I think that's kind of funny. They did say like fuck and shit. They had a lot of cuss words in there, I guess. But and then the guy was talking about smoking weed, and they kind of alluded that they had sex because they walked in. Whenever he opened the door, the dude had his shirt off and shit. I don't know, but yeah. Well, let's actually get to the horror of the movie. I am claustrophobic, because I had this experience where I was playing hide and seek with my sister. I went into the closet and I closed the door, and the closet is just like that door, and it's just that, just like square, like this wide, and then you get what I mean. It's just that it's not a big closet, and I go under like this little fucking thing. I squeeze under there, and I close the door, and I wasn't thinking, and I like bad coordination. I forget stuff from always like dropping stuff like that. So I wasn't really aware. I don't have well awareness, I guess you could say. I realized I would lock me in the closet. And I just felt like trapped. Like I was fine. I was like, she's never gonna find me in here. And then I realized I was fucking trapped, and I was so. That might be the most scared I've ever been in my life, bro. I was so scared that I was just gonna, bro, like it's kind of indescribable. I just started banging and screaming for help, bro. I wanted to get out there immediately. And my sister came to my rescue, fortunately, not long after, but that's always been, ever since that day, bro. Like, I kind of played it off as a joke whenever I tell other people. But in my mind, bro, that is, like, changed my mind. Like, subconsciously, it's super bad, bro. Like, I don't want to get into that right now, because it's supposed to be, like, just a fun review of the movie, but... So, that is kind of why I fear whenever he's, like, crawling through small spaces in the movie, and just this whole, like, bro, you may think, right, oh, you can just leave anytime, right? You can just leave the back rooms anytime by going through the doorway, right? But if you get lost in there, like, you're cooked, because it is infinite. No matter how hard you try, bro, you can map out certain sections, but you will never be able to map out all of the back rooms, because it is infinite, bro. You don't even have enough rope to find your way back. There's no amount of, well, maybe you can find more rope in the back rooms to get through there, but you, like, once you really get in there, bro, you're trapped, like, and that is scary. And I think that's scarier than any monster that they could come up with. And I also think, like, losing your mind, like, anybody would be fucking shocked once they realized what the Backrooms, the concept of it actually is. That would fucking, like, if it was actually real, it would fucking drive you insane, bro. And those are scary elements, and people argue that should be the whole movie, is people going insane. Sorry, I keep running on a sword and fucking on my video. I'm gonna try to get this done as fast as possible. But back to what I was saying. If you think about it, it kind of was. The monsters were just adding an entertaining element onto, because, right, that is a cool, like, concept for, like, a short story in the backgrounds, people just going insane. But for a feature-length film, like, do you really want to see, like, oh, look at all these hallways. Oh, just my fucking mind. Oh, look at it. Oh, look at my backstory. Look at this. Oh, and I'm just fucking killing. Oh, you're with me. I'm gonna fucking bash your head in because I'm fucking crazy. Right? That could make a really good like 30-minute short film, but for like a feature-length movie and like casual, and there's a lot of casual viewers, right? People just seeing the Backrooms as like a TikTok meme or something, and they just want to see like a scary horror movie. They can't. They have multiple fears of it. The fear of going insane, the fear of being lost, the fear of the unknown. You know, the fear that you're gonna starve to death, or you can't find water. You starve of thirst. What the fuck is that called? I don't know. And I'm actually really surprised. They kind of went completely, like they have like the same like concept and all this, but it's very different from the Kane Pixel series. They don't have the bacteria monster, the bacteria wire monster. I don't really know. I gotta watch like a breakdown of the movies, because there is like shadows and like early at the start of the movie. There's like shadows, and I think it was. I'm not sure. Right, I'm not sure. It would only show up for like a second. So I don't know if that was the bacteria monster. Maybe it was in the movie, or maybe that was just the monster that we saw in the dining room that killed Carl. It's Carl's name. I'm already fucking forgetting it, right? Because my storage keeps fucking running. But I'm surprised that was not the main entity in the movie, and they went a different route. And Async was originally an MRI manufacturing company. I think that's interesting. And we didn't really even get that fully explained, how they went from an MRI manufacturing company to opening the portal to the fucking Backrooms. They didn't explain that. But they weren't focused on like setting up all this lore. I'm glad that they focused on the horror, and they did explain the concept of what the Backrooms is, and they did it very well if you're paying attention. They did explain the backstory of the therapy girl Mary very well if you paid attention. There's a sign for them building a new apartment. That's when the wrecking ball broke into her house, and that's how they found her and her mother, like all like taped up, and they're like, "Why are you here?" And they found out her mom was crazy. So I like that the movie, instead of just being like slap fed to you, you actually have to pay attention and use your brain and think about the movie to actually get it, like understand it fully. And I think that's what makes a good movie. It's not mind-bendingly complicated like the original Backroom series can be sometimes, because the original Backroom series, like everybody just has theories. Nobody actually knows what's going on. Well, Kane Pearson said one person got it right, but the comment only had 2 likes. So there could be like a bunch of people who, with like 2 likes on their comment, who found it out, but they just don't have enough popularity, and we'll never actually probably know. Eventually, it will get revealed, but in the meantime, we won't really know. And I really hope they don't milk this. Like a limited series could be cool, and after the movie ended, I just wanted more. I think that it was a good ending. They should have. The movie didn't need to be 2 or 3 hours. I think it was a perfect ending. I'm glad they ended it the way they did, and all that. I'm glad they didn't drag it out and they just focused on the story. But I would like to see like more. I don't just want like a bunch of lore dumps. I just want to see like more in this story, in this like style of film, because it was just so great, right? Because if we want to see lore, sorry for this. If we wanted to see a lore, we would just watch the YouTube series, right? There's plenty of lore. And if you wanted to explain the lore, you could just like keep on making stuff in the YouTube series. I would like to know like the plot holes. Is the reason, because the universes are separate, right? I'm not sure the YouTube series and the movie. If they are, I would like to know how they went from an MRI manufacturing company to opening the portal to the Backrooms. Did they even open the portal to the Backrooms? Because I don't understand what it is. I am I'm very confused. I'm kind of confused on that. Maybe the answer is the details. Maybe I need to listen to my own advice and pay attention. I don't think it is, but I would just like a couple answers. And I like how holy brain fart. I like how if you pay attention, whenever the camera is grabbed by the monster, right, it's not just like, at first I thought they were doing some sort of mimic thing, but no, it's just like genuinely Carl, I forget his name again. He met the monster, and the combination of meeting this monster that looks like him in the Backrooms drove him insane, and that's why he kidnapped Mary, the therapist, and did all this stuff. Like, it wasn't any mimicry or monster. It was genuinely insane, and they could have played into all this. They could have played into the lore of the Backrooms, made it this fan service type movie. They could have turned it into the Five Nights at Freddy's type movies. They aren't bad. The first one, that movie was good. I haven't seen the second one, to be fair. But they genuinely just made a great fucking movie, bro. I could yap about it for longer, but I love the horror of the movie. I love the theme of the movie. I love the movie. I love the concept of how the Backrooms is infinite, and the reason why things are messed up is just because it's like remembering it wrong. And the time they didn't really get into all the time stuff, but I love where they're going from the therapist's childhood home room, and the room goes down and down and down, and you see it slowly starting to morph, and it's like the Backrooms over time. There's everything is in there. The story, everything in our world is in there, and there's a bunch of it replicated. Some is perfectly replicated, other things not, misremembered in every single moment. Like right now, I do this. I do this pose. There's a version of me in the Backrooms doing that pose. I do this pose. There's a version of that. There's a misremembered version of me in the Backrooms doing that. And every single second of time is replicated in the Backrooms infinitely until the universe explodes and we all die. And I think that's pretty cool. I think the Backrooms is very cool, and it plays on multiple fears we innately have as humans. The fear of being hunted, the fear of survival, and all this. I don't know. The video's getting really fucking long. I love the Backrooms, man. Not just the movie, I love the series. Shout out to Kane Pixels, bro. You really made it big with this one. And shout out to anyone who stayed the song. I don't know why you did, man. Because I'm just rambling right now. No script. Thanks for watching, bro. Peace out.